Hello
James.
and welcome to the Small World Podcast. I'm
You
your
already-
host, Chris Long.
I'm Austin Newborn.
I'm the guest host, James Flowers.
There you go.
He got it this
And with
time.
us this week we have...
I'm Nate Pearson.
Okay.
We've done this twice now.
It's
The
all
guests
right.
have heard this twice.
We're just gonna roll with it. Roll with it. Rock with it.
So welcome.
We got it.
For the second time.
Exactly.
Guys, if you can't tell, we're having a good time here at the Small World Podcast.
Yep. We had a NBA 2K game already.
True.
Yep.
Located in Orlando, Florida.
Next-gen consoles are whack.
They are.
Chris is just bad on
lost.
2K on next
That's
gen.
not true.
Chris
I can't
lost
help
really
The most
bad.
obvious charge of all time got called a blocking foul.
Chris just lost real bad. So.
I didn't lose. I rage quit.
Well, hold up.
And speaking of rage quitting, go listen to the last episode of Small Talk.
I
Hey.
did. I did. Did you, Chris?
I haven't listened yet.
Get out.
I'm worried that if I don't, I'll be condemned to hell.
Wait a
But
minute.
speaking of hell, go listen to episode 3 of Jack Says There's Veridical.
There you go. But I have another. That's a good segue. I have another question because we asked him if he's been listening to stuff last week.
Okay.
It is next week, James.
Okay.
Have you been listening?
I was able to get one episode in, unfortunately. I'm trying to keep up. But
What episode of what?
Unfortunately, that he was able
I'm
to
trying to
get it in.
remember which episode. It was Small World.
Small World.
Who was the guest?
Well, it was... I'm trying to remember. It was one of the ones I missed from one of the Small World podcasts, okay? So,
Okay.
I mean, hey.
That was very vague.
I know it's very big.
I listen
But if
to,
you look at
I
my...
listened to the
missed
Small
them
World
all, so it's
podcast
just
trailer.
I'm trying to
listen to the whole
Yeah.
thing.
I fast forwarded at 2 times speed. No.
Listened to the whole
trailer's really
thing.
good. Nate
It is
did a
pretty
good job
good.
with that
Thank
trailer.
you, Nate.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway.
I like watching it off the YouTube.
It took 2 hours.
The YouTube.
The YouTube.
It took 2 hours. That's crazy. It's
Wow.
like a
I had to-
4-minute clip.
I had to listen through
Yeah.
most of our podcasts and find clips that were entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Takes
So-
a long time.
As we mentioned last week, for the next 3 weeks, well,
This
one
is
week
week
has
number
passed.
2.
This is week number 2 of 3.
Yes.
The hosts are the guests.
Yep.
So, James, are you available next Tuesday?
I guess so. I'll be house sitting for a whole
Alright.
month. So yeah, I'll be in
Nice.
Wilson.
So, James is guest hosting for all of us.
And potentially
Is
we
that-
talked about somebody else guest hosting for you too.
Maybe. We'll see how that pans
Is
We
out.
that
won't say his
house
name yet.
unattended right now?
Right now, there's people there, but
Okay.
they'll be gone.
Hey,
soon,
yo.
So
Does it have a nice room with nice padded walls in it?
they have a Shelby Cobra.
They have a Shelby Cobra.
That's good enough. We don't
AC.
need the
That could be
walls.
good for recording.
So
Pod in the Shelby. Riding down the
I
That
highway.
would
seems like a
never get
uh,
asked
Shelby.
back again.
Pod in the Shelby. There's only 2 seats, so it'd be kind of interesting.
This definitely seems
Someone
like
lays
a,
on the hood.
Yeah.
Something that's been done before.
Pod in
Probably.
the Shelby?
I'm
What
pretty
was the name of that comedian?
Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld, classic cars, did comedy and cars sing.
Yeah.
I've
he
I
did
mean,
never
I've been wanting to do that
seen
with Miatas, where I have like a whole interview all within a Miata.
Yeah.
He did
Miata
a,
talk.
there's a whole
Miata Talk.
Netflix series
Good
where he
name.
like rides. I didn't watch it, but he rides around with other famous actors and comedians and tells stories and stuff.
Oh, that's
Inside of
That's
a
like
little
right
van.
up your alley.
There was
Yeah,
a
that is.
there was like a
Yeah.
there was a Christian
Airplane
show I
food.
watched that they did that same thing with the guy that made what's the name of that soap for cars?
Soap?
I forgot the name of it, but he now has a bunch of nice cars and he brings people into his car, his garage, and has them tell his testimony and interviews them why they go on a nice drive.
Speaking of cleaning products, you know who I miss?
Who?
Mr.
Billy Mays.
Aw, Billy.
Oh my
Too
goodness,
Why?
soon.
You don't miss Billy Mays?
No.
I miss him.
Billy Mays.
I dressed up as him for Halloween.
I
And
remember that.
Dang.
That picture's
OxyClean
iconic.
commercials
I gotta
will
find that.
never be the same.
it has to be somewhere.
Hey, I'm Billy Mays, and this is the amazing cleaning power of OxyClean. There you
Amazing
go.
cleaning power.
I was watching a difference between like a terrible salesperson and a bad, the good one. The good one was Billy Mays, and then it showed the ShamWow guy.
Wow. That's Billy Mays' replacement. Come on now.
I mean, Billy Mays, he's one of a kind.
The ShamWow guy, though, why did he look like he was on...
Crack.
I was
He
going
was
to
on
say
crack.
it, but and he was like...
that
That dude was tweaking.
spiky hair, right?
That dude was tweaking every single episode.
Wow. Like,
That eyebrow raise, you ain't gonna tell me that was natural. There was some narcotics involved to get that eyebrow that high.
Narcotics and cosmetics.
And
Does-
cosmetics.
Nixon.
Does the Dwayne the Rock Johnson have narcotics to raise his eyebrow?
No, he's just superhuman.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Black Adam. I mean, the
Drugs.
theater near you.
Yeah.
Speaking of superhumans,
Superhumans.
Nate,
Nathaniel.
Superhumans?
born in Greenville, South Carolina.
Wow. So
Yeah.
far away.
It's a ripoff of
He's
North
exotic.
Carolina, Greenville.
Honestly, the fact that Nate was born in South Carolina makes so much sense. Like,
Oh.
everything comes together now that I know that.
Whoa, you're born in the better Greenville?
Whoa.
Hold up.
Whoa,
Wait a
whoa,
minute.
buddy.
Does that
Just
one have a
saying.
Mr. Beast?
There is.
Just saying, the downtown scene in South Carolina, Greenville, is so much better.
But do they have a Mr. Beast?
It is
Honestly,
much
I've
better.
never been to Greenville, South Carolina in my conscience. Like
Oh,
I
it's
know what's
such
going
a
on.
nice
In your
town.
conscience, okay.
It's
conscious
such a
years.
nice town. I should talk about it on the podcast I haven't made yet. It's a
Are
nice
you
little
going to
town.
make that podcast?
It's some point.
Can I be a featured guest on that podcast since I was born there?
Yeah, you can be that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have no memory of the town I was born in, but it's a great town.
Here is a product of Greenville, South
So how was
Carolina.
South Carolina?
So I lived in Sandy Springs until I was 2.
That sounds like a Cars town.
It does.
So there was this one time, apparently, I don't recall because I was so young, that I had this like little 4-wheeler, like the plastic ones,
Oh, nice.
and I would ride around in circles, like around the living room, dining room area,
Oh, inside
and I would
the
only
house.
go one direction. I'd never switch and go the other way.
Oh.
And I would just
Make
stay
a left
turn.
turn.
Left turn.
It was NASCAR, except a plastic 4-wheeler. And one day, apparently, it was in the driveway, and my mom like came home from work, and she like ran over it.
No.
Aw.
And I was
no.
like standing at the window watching it happen.
Aw.
You're like
And
banging the
whenever-
window.
No!
Not for the sake of saying baby talk, but just the way my mom tells the story. Like whenever like my mom would ask what happened to it, and I would say, "Mommy ran over it." Like,
So you could have had a blossoming NASCAR career by
yeah,
now,
could have been.
and your mom ran it over.
Ran it over, crushed my dreams,
I
and
just
my
imagine-
4-wheeler.
Man,
That's why North Carolina NASCAR drivers are better.
I
Yeah.
imagine 2-year-old Nate looking out the window. His mom comes in. She's like, "I'm so sorry, honey," and Nate just goes, "Bruh." That's just what I'm.
just flips the bird and walks off.
I'm just thinking of him banging the window.
Just
yelling,
no.
falls to his knees.
I was 2. Ironically, I have another story of another automated plastic device from the next town, so
No.
that's where we're gonna segue this along.
man.
My next place I lived was Nakina, North Carolina. If you're wondering where that is, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
But it's Columbus County, bottom of the state.
Okay.
30 minutes from Myrtle Beach, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
Negative, it's near Whiteville. But I think Whiteville had like a alligator like museum thing. I could be
What?
remembering that
Alligator
wrong.
sounds pretty
museum?
cool.
That sounds right. There's alligators there.
I want to go to
Anyway,
an alligator museum.
but
Me too.
the only thing I remember about Whiteville is the Walmart. It's because like we only really went to town for Walmart. But and the McDonald's. I remember that little stretch. There was like a car dealership. That's random.
Now,
Anyway.
are you far enough back to have the McDonald's in the back of the Walmart? Remember when that was the
front of
We
thing?
it?
had them in the front, but not. I don't know if it was at that Walmart.
Nah, man.
What about the pretzel stores in the front?
Auntie
Yeah.
Anne's.
Annie Ann's was never in the Walmart in Wilson.
It was.
Annie
No, it
Ann
wasn't.
It was.
It's not real.
They're opening drive-through locations.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So,
It was.
but the Walmart I grew up, we had so you know where the dairy section is in a Walmart, like back of the store.
Yeah.
That's where our McDonald's was.
What?
Huh.
Why?
Yeah. So we'd go to the back of the store, like park the buggy, and start having some McDonald's. It's kind of nice.
I'm so happy you said
But it was
buggy.
a depressing looking McDonald's. It was like because it's a really tall wall in the back,
Uh-huh.
and it's just a little corner, and it was really dark.
Ugh.
And I was like, "This is sketchy."
I've
But
always seen it in
man,
the
I got
front.
some chicken nuggets.
I've never seen it in the back.
It was
That's
That was weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was really strange. I can probably
Gotta
find a
come to
picture
the
of it.
back to get your.
Want
They
some
get
chicken
some
nuggets?
Hey, little boy, want some nuggets? Come to the back of the store to get your nuggets. Don't worry about,
That's
don't worry
so.
about old Uncle Ronald McDonald.
It was.
Back then, you probably had the Hamburglar and stuff.
Oh,
They were.
I was more scared of him than
We had
Ronald.
Ronald sitting on the bench back there. He was like this, you know,
I was-
sitting Ronald's lap.
Who would win in a fight, the Hamburglar or Swiper no swiping?
Hamburger.
Hamburglar 10 out of 10
Hamburglar.
times.
Well, Oh, Swiper, he's kind of small, I guess.
I mean,
so.
Swiper, you just go Swiper stops, no swiping.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he just walks off.
Cease.
Then you can like bag him in the back of the head.
I
Like,
just picture like a real dramatic scene where he's about to punch. You say stop, and he's like,
You can't do it. Oh, man.
he's like a sniper. Sniper, stop sniping. Sniper gets up. Oh man.
Copy.
Okay.
Oh,
So
man.
anyway, Walmart in Whiteville. Anyway, the reason I moved is because I'm a preacher's kid, so that'll be a common thing.
PK.
Yeah. So Nakaina had absolutely nothing to offer but hot dogs at a gas station.
Nice.
And a volunteer fire station.
Nice.
There was a restaurant. I went in there a few times that I remember, but it was like deep fried food. I mean, it was good though.
The normal Southern.
Like you're looking at corn dogs and fries, but so I had another vehicle story. I remember distinctly one time I had like a little tractor thing that you could ride.
Yeah, a little
It was like
John Deere
plastic.
going.
Yeah. So I remember riding it distinctly into an anthill.
Oh no.
And the ants,
Aw.
I remember them covering it. I think I sat back down on the fire ant and covered.
Why?
I don't know, but I remember my mom having to like clean ant bites and stuff.
Oh my
so
Oh, not the fire.
it was just like in my vision. I don't know if I'm because every time you remember something, you remember it less and less accurately. I
Look
just
at
remember
those
there being
ants.
ants all over it.
He just rides into it and slowly you see ants. Ave Maria starts playing in the background and he's like, back it up. Back it up.
So
It's like that scene in the fourth Indiana Jones.
Yes,
movie.
where they start climbing up each other.
Not the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Oh,
Keep it
Shia
over
LaBeouf.
Skull.
Were you Shia LaBeouf?
I can't. You asked too personal
might
of
be
a
the
question. I can't reveal that.
He was
The
like,
most awkward pause in the history.
that
of small world
was
music.
because he
So
was
I've
thinking
never
about
been
something
asked
else, and
if-
I asked him. He's just like,
If
I've
you're
never
listening
been
on Spotify,
I'm Shia
oh me,
LaBeouf.
"Are you Shia LaBeouf?"
I am Shia
just
LaBeouf.
do it.
I knew it. I knew it.
Running
So what
through
was
the
it like
woods.
working on holes?
I'm more. I like to talk about my Transformers career.
Oh man.
The biggest advertisement in history.
So, what's with you in these vehicles then? Why do you keep?
I mean, so another vehicle story.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
I like. It's not like a. It's not as good.
Was
But
it
apparently-
plastic?
Well, it was plastic. It was a wagon. Does that qualify?
Yeah, that's it.
Does it have four wheels?
Yes.
All right,
That's a
then.
It's like
qualification.
a plastic one. You know, once you could pop the gates off the side.
Yeah, buddy.
This is an interesting story, but we lived in a parsonage right beside the church.
Yeah.
So I distinctly remember, like, on church Sundays, my mom would like walk us in the wagon when it was cold across the walkway to the church, and
Man,
so we just rode in the wagon.
good memory. That's wholesome.
That is wholesome.
The reason we
wholesome.
left from the South Carolina place is because of a tree.
A tree.
a single tree.
A tree.
A single
What?
tree.
There was
One
this old
singular
tree in
tree.
the front that was like really old, probably over 100 years. That was rotting,
Oh.
and the church didn't want it cut down. Which that my dad had it cut down because it was the danger,
Yeah.
like, to probably the property and stuff. And they like got so mad over it that it just like
Wow.
it's crazy.
So
Wow.
I want to hear a little bit more about what it was like being a preacher's kid.
Being a preacher's kid. Imagine that you just can't watch anything that's rated above PG until you're 15 years old.
Okay.
Okay, it's not
No
that
Shrek?
Shrek is not PG-13, is it?
Okay, no, but I'm just making sure.
See,
But it
I love my
toes
mom,
the
but she
line.
was so
Yeah.
picky choosy on what I would watch based on her personal preference too. So she
Yeah,
wasn't a fan
I
of.
feel that.
I'm about to. This is really a black mark. I don't want to say it, but wasn't a fan of SpongeBob.
Okay.
Bum bum bum.
I mean, I wasn't
So
allowed to
I
watch it either.
Wasn't
so.
allowed to watch SpongeBob because she thought he was disrespectful. But I don't understand because I could watch Jimmy Neutron, which had
Wait,
you
hold
know,
up.
Interesting.
Makes sense.
I wasn't allowed to watch any of those channels.
So,
I could watch Jimmy Neutron. I couldn't watch Fairly Odd Parents. I mean, Magic, Harry Potter, all that. That was as a preacher's
Yeah.
kid. That was
Yeah.
clearly cut off.
yeah.
But so now I get to where I'm at now, and I've watched a lot of stuff, like obviously, but like when it comes to like certain movies, it's like well, and people are like, you haven't watched that? And I'm like, you don't understand. For
Yeah.
13 years of my life, I couldn't watch
Hey,
stuff.
I'm right there with you. I just saw Dead Poets Society this year.
That's a great
That is
movie.
such a good movie.
I saw it for the first time this year, and people are like, "You haven't seen this?"
Every time I hear the social club line standing on my desk like a dead poet.
He
Oh,
hasn't.
yeah.
He hasn't seen Dead Poets Society.
What?
Yeah.
It's classic.
It's so good.
I'll have to put that on my watch list.
Yeah, it's good.
What's the name of that? Like, Seize the Day?
Carpe Diem.
Carpe Diem. Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
Oh, that's such a sad movie.
Yeah, it is.
which one? Oh, Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely sad. Just a warning.
This is not an official Small World recommendation, by the way.
No.
my fun fact is the first time I went to Disney was when I lived in Dakina. Very few memories of it. I've been to Disney 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So, you lived in Makina till you were 6?
Yeah, about 6.
Okay.
And then you moved to Plymouth.
Plymouth, the great town of Plymouth. That's what I thought it was first called. When I moved
Plymouth,
there.
North Kakalaka.
Yeah. So I lived in Plymouth. It was, I guess, a change for me. It was actually a really easy transition. So my dad got a job at a church there in Roper, which is right by Plymouth. They're like 5 minutes apart.
All right.
So I remember meeting my best friend there, like one of the first times I ever went to a church event.
I wasn't there.
Dang.
I'm so sorry.
I wasn't there either, Chris.
Man.
And
I'm
I just
crying on the
remember
inside.
Small World is canceled.
Either him or me said a stupid knock knock joke. I don't remember who. That's just the first memory I have, and then I guess we were just friends from there on out.
Nice.
The joke wasn't funny.
What's his name? You want to give him a shout out?
Yeah, shout out to JJ.
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 What's up, my guy? Why is he here?
Huh?
Why isn't he here?
Why isn't he here?
Yeah.
He just probably doesn't want to be on a podcast.
Did you
That's
ask?
JJ, plot twist.
Hey, JJ. James. What's your middle name? What's your middle name?
Boys.
Voice.
I knew that. Dang it.
JB
It's
Flowers.
JB.
And Co.
JBF, baby.
Ooh,
Baby.
that could be a company.
JBF 2.
Doesn't
That could
JB
be.
Flowers sound like a company?
Yes.
JB Flowers and Sons.
That might work.
There you go.
You gotta have some
Gotta have a
kids.
son
And
first.
I really want to do Boyce International or Flowers Performance when it comes
Voice
to
Flowers
International,
Performance.
That's crazy.
Flowers Performance.
Wish I had a
really
last
good.
name like Boyce.
Dang. That's a
Well,
middle
because
name.
my name's already been used for a company. I'm out. Like
Pearson.
What, Taylor? Made?
Pearson.
Oh.
Taylor
Taylor
made.
middle name.
Pearson's like a giant school company.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because they anti-shout out to Pearson because you make my Spanish textbooks.
Dang.
Sorry.
Newborn has 2 companies: Newborn Crackers and Newborn Caulk Guns.
Oh, nice.
You know, if you need to do some silicone work, Newborn Caulk Guns.
Is there a long company?
Yes, there's probably a long company. We
I've
can
never
look it
heard
up.
of it.
Where's the Google? Google.
Where's the Google?
Do the Google.
Foxy, pull that up for
Hey,
me.
Foxy. Hey, we do have a phone that's on Chromecast right now.
Hey Siri.
New feature of the Small World podcast.
What are we looking up?
Long
Ooh.
Company.
Nate's background picture is of himself. I'm just kidding.
Imagine.
Long company.
Long Equipment and Manufacturing Company. Long
Long
Inc.
Okay.
That's actually my company,
Long.com.
This
Long
whole time,
Building
Small World
Technologies.
Podcast is just like an extra small side job.
It's an asphalt company.
They
There
do
you go.
blacktop?
Long Inc.
Anti-shout out to the long.
Asphalt, paving, grading, concrete, and pavers. 1-800-Blacktop. That's a good
That is a
number
good
right there.
1-800, yeah.
Man.
You should just walk up and act like you're a
Long
family
company.
member.
Hey, I'm family. I get this for free, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my most notable accomplishment in my first stint in Plymouth is that I led my elementary school in AR points.
What is AR points?
Accelerated Reader Program.
Oh,
Where you had to like read and you took the test and you got points.
I did not have that. Don't
Accelerated
talk to me
reader.
like that.
I think of a different AR. So
I had like 400 points, which was
Dang,
a lot.
Wow.
What does that translate to?
I don't know.
What's
I
the
think
currency
a book was
ratio?
a book was probably worth like 5 points.
wow.
So,
So big books, like if you read Swiss Family Robinson or something like that, that might have been 25.
no idea what Swiss Family
50.
Robinson is.
What?
What is that?
It's a book.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, that's great. What
The
type?
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe would have been about 25 to 50 points, I think.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Like a novel.
So
Yeah.
I read the easy books. There were some novels I read too, but you had to, because you couldn't read below your reading level though.
Right.
So you had to base it off of that.
So you can just do cat.
So
in
I
the Hat.
scalped some
Yeah,
easy
so you did some
points,
redfish, bluefish too.
and I got a $25 Walmart gift card.
Nice.
So yeah,
Wait,
So
for
how
did they prove
400
that you read
points?
huh?
How did they prove that you read the
If you
things
passed the
they
test,
did?
you passed the test.
So he didn't
They
read the
saw
book.
I
Spark
did.
Notes.
I did read the books.
Quizlet had to read.
Quizlet.
I promise
got
one of
those
the
Spartan
best days of my life during that time was when I my friend brought a PSP.
Yes, the PSP.
Those were crazy.
You turn that thing on.
So this was all third grade. I probably peaked in third grade. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Because my family told me if you get straight A's, we'll get you a Wii.
Oh,
Right.
the Wii.
Shout out to Miss Cherry. She's a principal now.
Yeah.
I think she was the easiest teacher I ever had. I don't
Dang.
think we did much of anything in their class. I remember one
Wow.
time we were arguing over a math question of what the right answer should be.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I was like just listening, but the class was doing it like court style.
Oh, dang.
There were people arguing the cases for one answer and defending it. Like the
2
class
plus 2 is not 4.
This was something not something
Objection.
the teacher set up. This was all class driven. Like
Your Honor, PIMDOS is clearly applicable.
A whole mock trial.
Oh,
it was
man.
something about
You have
like
a
one of
bailiff?
those like 700 watermelon questions.
Oh.
It was a word
If Susie
problem.
has 700 watermelons. Of course, if she eats one, she's gonna have 699.
But what if she didn't eat it?
But how many
But
bricks
she
does that
still has
translate
it in her
into?
stomach, so it's still 700.
I
man.
so yeah, third grade. I did get the Wii.
Good.
There was
Nice.
one
Got the Wii.
one time I almost got like a B, but the rest of it was just high A's. So I was
When you
smooth
first
sailing.
heard that Wii menu music, how magical was it to you?
That was great. I don't even know. Just hearing the music in my heart right now just rises.
And then you turn on Wii Sports for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
There's
And you're like,
incredibly soothing about the Wii.
it is.
It's just such a wholesome thing. Like nothing
Yes,
bad's
you
ever happened with a Wii.
Except for all those TV screens being thrown at.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That was a magical moment turning on the Wii for the first time.
Yep.
And I love the Wii, especially the initial ones, because you could like hook up GameCube controllers and put your GameCube games up there as well. That was crazy,
Yeah.
mind blowing.
Yeah, whatever happened to menu music like the Wii and the PS3? Do you remember that when you
Oh,
turned
my
on the
PS3
PlayStation
You
music
3?
talking about
was-
the PS2? How
Oh.
terrifying that was?
What about a Sega Dreamcast?
I never played the Dreamcast.
I got scared of
It
the
is-
original
it's the-
Yeah,
Boo.
it was
It was
something like
basically.
that. It was great.
No, it's
though.
do 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 boo.
Yeah, it was a circle. Just
That's what it was.
Spiral.
Yeah, I was always an Xbox kid.
Like the original
You said
Xbox.
the-
I mean, how that one started up. I don't know. It just scared me when I was younger. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
Megatron pops through your screen.
The green alien goo just comes at you.
Oh, have you ever seen what happens if you leave a Xbox on for more than an hour on the menu?
No, what happened?
Look it up. It's terrifying.
What happened?
It like goes dark and it goes moo, and like goes into like a creepy tone, and it's like
What?
terrifying.
is this the original Xbox?
The
or-
original Xbox? If you
Why?
leave
I have
it on
one
the
in the
menu,
attic. I want to try this.
If you leave it on the menu for more than an hour, the whole screen goes red and it goes dark, and it like puts it in a really creepy tone.
Why?
I don't know.
See, it takes over your
That one
Xbox.
kid that leaves their Xbox on overnight and they
And
just
they
fall
wake up,
asleep,
they're like,
and they wake up.
Wakes up at 3 in the morning. You leave it on and it just gets darker.
Mom was right. It is the devil.
When you're
Told you the video game would rot your brain.
the one moment your parents walk into the room.
They think their son's, but he's just sitting there like that, and he's like, ah!
He's levitating.
Call the priest! Call the priest! You need to order an exorcism here. Exorcism! Oh, no!
no.
Bill
Xbox!
Gates is the Antichrist.
Ah!
Yo, well,
That's
makes
been
sense
confirmed.
actually.
Oh, man.
Oh,
buying
no.
up all the
We're
farmland.
turning into a Joe Rogan experience right here.
All right, so after you went to Plymouth, what happened next? Why did you leave Plymouth?
Well, there's a few like in Plymouth. I love those years. Those are probably some of the best years of my life. Except for maybe my time back because I lived in like a great neighborhood. Now Plymouth all around is a rough place to live, but the neighborhood I lived in was pretty nice. It was just like lower middle income family, but like I could ride my bike around anywhere in the neighborhood and it was fine with that. But I couldn't watch Harry Potter, so I don't understand the safety differences.
I couldn't watch it either.
We'll risk your body,
Pokemon.
but not your soul.
I could, but I didn't.
I couldn't watch Pokemon.
I couldn't watch Pokemon.
I couldn't watch that.
See, here's the thing.
Evolution.
I couldn't watch Pokemon, but I could play Bakugan and watch that. What's the difference?
You were a big Bakugan kid, right?
I was a big Bakugan kid. I don't know.
couldn't.
And Beyblade.
Can you tell us about your Bakugan and Beyblade collection?
I don't remember, but I had like 40 of each.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I went to Walmart, $8 Bakugan in the bag. $8 Beyblade.
Where did the idea that Pokemon was of the devil come from? I just want to know where
Pocket
that
monsters.
Yeah.
monsters.
I mean, I always heard they were represented as demons or whatever. That's what people say.
Just
I don't
because
know.
they were
Pikachu and you see a
monsters?
demon. There's something
My
wrong.
brother
with
in
you.
Christ, this is literally a water turtle. What is wrong with you?
John the Baptist Turtle.
like just thinking of how I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon, but I was allowed to watch SpongeBob and Fairly Odd Parents. That doesn't
That's
make
weird.
sense.
Yeah.
See, but like in Bakugan, there were these giant dragons and
Yeah.
stuff, and like
The dragon.
actually like more, not terrifying, but for a kid, but like
Yeah.
Pokemon's just cute little like creatures running around.
Yeah. I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon or Harry Potter, but I watched all the Lord of the Rings movie at the age of 8.
I saw
I
a
watched
post related
orcs.
to that.
I watched orcs get their heads lopped off at 8, and I was like not allowed to
awesome.
watch. And I was like, yeah.
I was more horrified of the king that caught on fire and ran off the
Oh, that
top.
terrified
I thought
me
it
as
was
a kid.
hilarious until I saw him jump off. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
That's
he
not funny.
did. Oh, he did.
I've never seen The Lord of the Rings.
oh my word.
Any of them.
Oh,
Don't watch the
the
Hobbits.
first
They're
two.
not worth it.
Do you have? Let me think. 4. Do you
No, I don't have that much time.
13 hours?
Nope.
Is it really 13 hours?
Yeah, they're all of them.
I thought it was like 7 hours for all. Huh?
No,
director's
not
cuts,
the not
the
the direct.
Hobbits.
Only the director's cut is allowed in this.
Are you
household.
counting the Hobbits? I hope not.
No, not the Hobbits.
Okay, just making
the
sure.
director's extended editions. That's the only ones you're allowed to watch.
Yeah, no, I
None of
haven't
that
seen any of
theatrical
them.
cut stuff. We gotta watch them.
This was the Little League time of my life.
The
Little League.
Little League.
You
Played
were in
some
the Little League?
baseball.
Okay.
Made an all-star team.
Oh,
Yeah. I didn't get a hit the whole season. How did I make the all-star
Aw.
team?
I don't know.
You asked because I was coachable. So yeah.
Oh,
You were
wow.
coachable. Were
Yeah.
you good?
I did get a
defenseman
hit
at
in the
least?
all-star tournament though,
Nice.
or an exhibition at least.
Nice.
Oh, were you good at defense?
I played right field. I didn't get in any action.
He was great.
I
The ball
wasn't-
Ever came to
Look,
him.
whenever I made contact, power hitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got walked a lot, to be honest. I probably got
Really?
walked
They're
more than I
scared
got
of you,
struck
man.
out.
Why did
They're
they walk
scared of
you?
you.
Did they hit you or did they like miss?
I just didn't swing on a lot of stuff because it was bad throws. It's Little League. They're 12. How many times are they going to hit the strike zone?
They're like, man, don't pitch to this guy. He's gonna smack it out on us.
I mean,
Yeah.
did they bring
Around
out the
him,
T-ball
pitch around
whenever you miss a few? And
No,
then they're
this
like,
is
here's
like
the old T-ball.
This is like higher level. Like
Did
Okay.
but like there was one kid who was like 6'1". I promise he threw like a
Dang.
70-mile-per-hour fastball. Like, it was
No.
He just
terrifying.
has the license that's the crayon. I'm 12.
Yep. Did the coach every time you came at the bat of the opposite team go this to the pitcher? Did
I
he do
don't
that?
remember.
Do you don't remember that? Oh, just checking.
Is that your
I do
sign?
remember
Means
when I
don't-
got a little bit
means don't
older.
pat, don't.
after-
Usually when they sign them, it's like get past that guy.
After I moved, they would just yell "big hitter" whenever I walked up.
Wow.
Really?
The
Yeah.
legend. The legend.
They hadn't even ever seen me before, but they yell "big hitter."
NASCAR prodigy.
Yeah. Big
Baseball.
hitter.
MLB legend.
Yep.
I played soccer too.
What?
Dang.
I played
Lionel
Little League
Messi
soccer.
right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I was on defense because
I was too when
I was out of shape, which I was like, it wasn't that bad, but
Get that slide tackle down.
yeah, they didn't like that. One time,
Why not?
One
Get
time,
used to it.
I slid tackle and I was just frustrated, and it was JJ, my best friend. I like locked my legs around his foot and just got a foul. I was over it.
You said, "Give me the red card."
And my family got excited because I got aggressive on the field.
Wow.
Yeah,
Hey. Like,
Interesting.
Was that the highlight of your soccer career?
I scored a goal.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
so like did I really score it? Was it probably already going in? Yes. The guy kicked the
touched
ball.
it all the way.
I was past the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper went to where he kicked it my way. And right before it rolled over the line, I kicked it in with my foot. So I scored a goal.
Stole that kid.
You got the assist, man. You put him to.
I made sure it went in.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah.
That was.
His parents are like,
assist.
he's about to make his first goal. Oh,
That was the one time I played midfield.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had actually got to be up there, I would have scored more.
Yeah, you stole that memory from that guy. You took his goal. He's sitting there and he's listening to this podcast. It was you. It was him. The whole reason I'm not a soccer player now.
The redhead kid.
It was the redhead kid.
I played rec league soccer too, and the highlight of my playing career is there was a corner kick, and I don't remember the guy's name. I want to say it was Cole, but
I know.
not later in the episode Cole. But he kicked a corner kick, and it hit me in the head, and it went in the goal. I was like,
Get a
yeah!
You got that header goal, man.
I remember I had it wasn't from this ankle roll, but I had to roll my ankle. And I was out from playing soccer games for 3 weeks, and it was so sad.
You always have issues with your ankles.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
That's on the second Plymouth run.
oh,
Okay.
But
Second
I
Plymouth
moved to Nash County, so
Nash
Okay,
County.
yeah, to answer my question, why did you move from Plymouth?
yeah, this is significant. My parents got a divorce, so it was 7th grade, and I knew it was coming. So it wasn't that big of a shock to me. I was old enough to know what was going on. Probably harder on my sister. I wasn't really upset about my parents getting a divorce. It never really hurt me because I knew they weren't happy. But what hurt me was when I moved, losing all of my friends. I still saw them when I went to my dad's and everything. And it was probably unfair to him because I would have someone stay the night every weekend when I was down there. I know that probably played a toll on him, made him feel like I didn't want to see him. But I know from a perspective, he understood me being a young teenager.
Yeah.
So I moved with my mom. He really didn't get a say in the matter, which understandable. Me and my sister both did. So we went to the Nash County. I went to Southern Nash Middle School for 7th and 8th grade. So yeah, I moved in 6th grade, 7th and 8th grade. And that was okay. I enjoyed Southern Nash. It was all right. There's just not many notable moments in my life during that time. I got to spend more time with my grandparents. We lived in their house for a while. So that was some good time to bond with them. My grandpa was also a pastor, so I never escaped the
PK room.
Yeah, so I was okay, living in the parsonage with my grandpa in the church parking lot. But then we eventually moved out and stuff. But yeah, that was different because my mom was dating different guys. Not a lot, there was only 3 boyfriends during the span of 4 years. So there was some interesting stuff though. There was one guy, I won't say his name, but he ended up after him and my mom had broke up and everything, he barricaded himself inside his house and threatened
What?
himself. Yeah. And the police had to come and stuff.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want to know where she met him?
Where'd you meet
Christian
him?
Mingle.
oh,
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian dating sites.
I hope I'm not ousting my mom.
Works for Austin.
No, that wasn't a Christian dating site.
Sorry,
No.
secular dating.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom met her
on the devil.
current husband on a non-Christian dating site. So I think non-Christian dating sites are the way to go.
Christian dating
Yeah.
sites might just be the move.
So Upward, Christian Mingle, don't work. Just
Tinder? No, I'm just kidding.
no.
I think the one that worked for her was Zeusk.
Zeusk. I've
Yeah.
heard
What
of
is that?
Zeusk.
isn't that for older people?
I don't think so.
Wow.
No,
way
no,
to
no,
call
I
out
don't know.
his
I
mom. I'm
mean-
just kidding.
She's old enough to be a mom.
I mean, my parents were married for 18 years. So
Oh, that's solid.
yeah. But anyway, I ended up. So I interviewed to get into this school called NERSBA, the Northeast Regional School of Biotechnology and Agriscience. I felt
Dang.
really pressured
Mouthful.
by my dad at the time, but I mean, he wanted what was best for me. It was an early college, started by NC State. So, and because NC State had a NC State had a
Shout out to
farm.
NC State.
They had a research center in Roper. What's going on?
He's throwing up the wolf. But we don't do that around here.
Yeah.
They had a research center in Roper, and the school actually started out there.
Okay, I'm listening.
I don't know how you.
The school started out in the research
I
center.
don't know how you do the Duke.
Eventually, they got their own campus. This is-
We're listening.
Eventually,
promise we're listening.
eventually, they got their own campus, and I'm over it.
Okay.
Why are
Joke's
you wearing
over.
so much
Joke's
sports
over.
apparel?
Okay, the podcast is canceled. No.
Joke's over.
I'm
Joke's
wearing
over.
a hat because I'm having a bad hair day. Okay, they started in.
Roper at a research center.
Yeah, that.
Then they Janesville. Anyway, then so I didn't get in the first time, which is okay. I live with my mom, so I went ninth grade. I went to a different school. I went to Southern Nash High School. Then
Ew.
they basically told me upon a second interview, we don't know how you didn't get in. It was a mistake. Like
Wow.
so I got offered my second year to go there, and anyway, I had to make a decision to move and like live with my dad instead of my mom. So like that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Because my mom wanted me and my sisters together, but the way I did it was kind of unfair because my mom didn't know until the week of that I was moving.
Oh wow.
Because I didn't make my
Oh.
decision until the week school started.
Wow.
My dad was like, if you go back up to your mom's this weekend, you're not going to the school.
Mm.
So I was like, So I just chose not to make a decision and stay.
Mm.
So it was a decision, but you know.
Yeah.
And then, so like, that was hard.
Yeah, that
That
sounds
was
hard.
extremely difficult.
So, how did you go about making that decision?
My friends
Yeah.
and it's free college. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, there were early colleges where, you know, like Nash Community and Wilson Community and stuff. They have early college programs, but this one was more of a high school experience at the same time.
Yeah.
Because they had their own high school and they would contract out community colleges. So they did online once for the first year I went there, but then after that, the local community college was about 15 minutes from the school, so they would bus us to and from the community college from our own high school campus.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, it's pretty neat. So like you could like drive once you got your license and stuff, but
Yeah.
you would have a free periods and you know all the stuff like early college. Some days I wouldn't have to go to school till 1:00 because if I only had
Wow.
like one class that day.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's pretty
That's where
nice.
you met Jay Sean, right?
Yeah, that's where I met Jay Sean. It was in 10th grade. Shout out to Miss Leffler's class. And that's not the right name. Miss Woodard's class. Sorry. Woodard, yeah. So that was basically like a free period class where we did our college work.
Okay.
And it was me and Jay Sean in there along with another friend of ours. And we would just like write raps and stuff. We would write raps. I had a little notebook, and I would like, you know, that's where it all
That's
started.
where it all began.
Where it all began. So before we get into that, I guess I'll go over my ankle injury.
I want to hear more about this elusive ankle injury that you refused to tell me about until we started recording.
Let's start at the beginning.
Hey, your battery's low.
That's fine. So like, let's check on my computer battery. We're good.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
important.
I went up. We were playing. Let's start at the beginning. I got to go back. It's like third period, fourth period at school, right? And the teacher, I'm in an agriculture class. She's a substitute teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You can go and drink your water.
I'm trying, but he's like staring at me.
Oh, there
Hey,
you go.
some more?
Bro,
Yeah.
So
I don't need to spit on the
third or fourth period, I get assigned some homework. It's relevant, okay? Get assigned some homework. I'm doing the homework at my friend's house because I stayed the night a lot with him. But my dad's a paramedic at the same and pastor, so when he was working, he had to like do 24-hour shifts. So I would stay with my friend. That way I could get up for school the next day and everything.
Yeah.
So we were doing our homework, and then I was like, let's take a break. We go outside to throw up the football around, you know, like backyard football. His yard has a lot of hills in it. So I jumped up to catch it, right? Because we were all out, and I like landed on the side of my foot on the way down, and it like rolled on over. Sorry if anyone's squeamish, and it like it popped like 3 or 4 times on the way down, and I knew it was over because I couldn't get up. Like I was like laying on the ground. And he was walking over me like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Go get your mom."
Is that the title of this episode?
Go get your mom.
Because she found it. She was also a EMT paramedic. I don't know what she was at the time, but so she like came out and they had to like help me like limp, to the house, and I had to go get X-rays because is it a break, is it a sprain, you don't know. So I go to get X-rays, and lo and behold, the person who does my X-rays is the same substitute teacher who assigned my homework that day, and I had to explain that I hurt my ankle because I was taking a break from the homework.
It's your
That's
fault.
fun. That's
no breaks
fun.
allowed.
But she's cool. I mean, I knew her, but it was just like the irony of this situation is surreal.
I can just picture you on the ground. Are you okay? Go get your mom.
Like he started
Mid-sentence.
at first, I was like, "Go get your mom," like in pain, but then he kept walking. I was like, "Go get your mom." I just knew him moving over there wasn't gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Stop walking closer.
not a
Turn
parent.
around.
Like I just remember that's the only time I've had pain to where like my vision was starting to get blurry.
Oh my
Like I just
Oh,
could see
yeah.
like the spots and stuff,
Yeah.
and my ears were just ringing, and I was
Oh,
like,
that's the worst.
I was
A
like,
flashbang type.
yeah,
That's basically is.
Roll
When
your
you
ankle get
when
flat.
you get it that bad, it's terrible. And it's usually your ankle. I don't know what it is.
Call of Duty first person, right there. I mean,
this
Yeah.
same ankle I've rolled like 10 times since.
You rolled it right
Oh.
before we pulled
Like-
up, didn't you?
Yeah, I tweaked it. It wasn't like a full roll because it doesn't hurt now or anything.
Yeah.
But like I would, of course, I played basketball all the time. Like, because while I was in Nash County, I played like league basketball there just for fun. So I got into that, and I just I would roll my ankle after I like played backyard basketball. Like I would just be walking, and then it would like be a little uneven ground and just roll my ankle,
my knee.
or
I'm
like
so sorry.
there
That's
would be
not
an
funny.
well, once there was an inadvertent hole in the ground. Like, and I would just roll it, and every time I roll it, you just get like nauseous, and you're like,
You're just like,
because as soon as I roll my ankle, I was like, I want some water, just like to stop my nausea. Like that was the initial reaction.
Oh, you're like just walking with your friends. You
No.
step on a bump and just throw up out of nowhere.
I was playing in the I was playing in the school gym one time. I was going up for a layup, and I rolled my ankle like because I just came down wrong, but I made the layup. So
That's all that matters.
That's what
I'm
mattered.
changing the episode title to I Rolled My Ankle.
and what?
Yeah. No contact. Just, bro, I was kind of like nice with it in high school.
Have y'all ever played basketball with Nate?
Mm-mm.
He is pretty good.
I can't
No,
remember.
I'm
Did
not
he,
anymore.
did he play with
You
us
are.
at Raleigh Road on those
Did you
Monday
play?
nights?
No, you
I
never played at Raleigh Road.
I
did
played
you?
once at Raleigh Road.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We got a new basketball hoop.
We need a ball.
Ooh.
But like I was pretty good in high school. Like I was a shooter, and I got to a point where I could drive decent too. Like it was high school ball. We didn't have a team, so there was no major athletes on our school team.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was like, if I didn't get to be captain, I was first pick usually, or at
Yeah.
least first pick on one of the teams.
Nice.
So like I was like, because I was relatively in shape then, and I was decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
So while you were in high school, you also took some trips, right?
Yeah. Well, there was a few actually.
Okay.
We went out. Everyone in my high school had to be a member of the FFA
Yikes.
Future Farmers of America.
That's
because-
the most NC State thing I've ever
because it
heard.
was
Yeah, buddy.
So we all had FFA meetings as a school.
Wow.
So like once a month or something like that. It was great. It was interesting. So I had to take horticulture, agriculture, stuff like that as one of my classes. But anyway, as part of that, we went to DC. That might have been a National Honor Society trip or something. So that was a fun trip. That's not the main one though. For senior trip, we had to budget it, and save up. But I went to London and Paris. I spent 3.5 days in each.
Who was in
Nice.
Paris?
Fellas.
So what was London and Paris? What were they like?
London is very basic. Now, is it interesting? There's a
Hear
lot of
that,
cool stuff
Britain?
to see.
That's why
You
we.
hear that?
That's why
God.
we're.
There's a lot of interesting things to see, but I mean, they're obviously living healthier lives because their food has less flavor.
Got pepper and it's too spicy.
How did you like their chips?
The fish and chips. It was actually good. The only thing, okay, here's the thing that got me. When we had a lot of dinner, so each dinner we would eat somewhere as a group. Fish and chips, that was fine, but I think they told you to try your fries with vinegar because they do it. So I tried it, and that kind of ruined my fries. But I still ate them. That's not
good.
That's not that big a deal. Anyway, they brought out some ice cream, and I was like, awesome. This is vanilla ice
Finally, some
cream.
good food.
I bit into the ice cream, and it was banana ice cream.
Oh.
So when you go in, I don't like banana flavored like ice cream and popsicles. But anyway, but when you go in with the expectations that you're about to eat some vanilla ice cream and then it's banana, that really throws you off.
Yeah.
Those raisin cookies, bro. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Not the raisin.
Well,
cookies.
the best thing I had there was like their pot pie and mash. So like eating a pot pie and mash apparently I think is a pretty standard meal over there.
Mash is like mashed potatoes.
Yeah,
or?
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That was good.
Pot pie and
Probably just because I'm
How they make fun of us
American and it
for
was a
our
carb
words.
loaded
I
meal.
mean,
But they
you have
put-
the red hair, so you
they
like
shorten
Scottish
everything
or Irish
out.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, not French fries, chips, not mashed potato. Mash. Like, come on. You making fun of our accents?
Yeah, Britain, you
What's
suck.
up? It's basic.
You might sound smart, but
Quote
are you? I mean,
Nate
come on.
Pearson.
But
Quote Nate Pearson.
Yeah.
But while we were there, they made us like take these bags with us. It's actually in that closet.
Wow.
It's a bright blue, and it's a nice bag because it rolled over so no one could
I know
reach
what
into your
you're
bag.
talking about,
Yeah.
It has a big white circle on the back. I'm like, this is
Yeah.
just a target we're carrying around.
Yeah.
Like we're all carrying targets. And this was like a week before the ISIS outbreak.
Yikes.
Oh.
So, shout out to God, because literally
God,
a
if you
week
ever wanna come on the
after
pod.
we got back, there was the stabbing on the bridge in London. So, in London, you feel very safe in London. I'll say that, like, because it's just even the cops don't carry guns over there.
Yeah.
So, like, I know that should make you feel less safe, but it's like if they're not worried, I'm not worried at this point.
Yeah.
You know.
Not worried.
In the
illusion.
touristy areas they do, and I'm not gonna get into my views, and I'm not like so, but that was kind of abnormal for me, but like in the tourist areas they carry guns. I saw a guy get arrested.
Nice.
We went to go get McDonald's, of course, because we're Americans, and over there they call their quarter pounder a what is it?
A Royale with cheese.
Yeah, Royale with cheese.
Shout out
What?
to Pulp Fiction.
A Royale with
Yeah.
cheese?
Have y'all never seen Pulp Fiction?
No.
What?
No,
I'm
no
not
one-
surprised that James hasn't.
I haven't either.
haven't.
I'm finally
What?
I'm finally in a room with people who haven't seen movies like me.
Pulp Fiction.
I'm appalled. Y'all need to go watch Pulp Fiction.
I do need to
Okay.
watch Pulp
It's
Fiction.
so good.
I'll add that to my watch list again.
Again.
another
James,
one.
I can't recommend that for you.
Okay.
But anyway, we just see a guy like on the ground getting handcuffed, and he's like they're just arresting him right there on the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least.
My favorite thing in London was probably like we toured an old castle, like in the city. It's like built around it, and it showed all the torture stuff and how they used to
Oh.
keep exotic animals and stuff there.
Oh, nice.
It was like, and you could see the
Barbaric.
London Bridge from there, which London Bridge is actually called. Do y'all know that name?
Elizabeth
I don't want to be
Bridge.
wrong. I think it's Tower Bridge, though.
Tower Bridge.
Tower Bridge.
Yeah.
Foxy,
That's
look
gonna
that
change
up.
the name.
Foxy looked it up. So yeah, London and Paris are two totally different vibes, but I don't know if it was in London or Paris though. I tried a veal,
Veal.
which is like
Deer?
calf,
Oh, baby calf.
Oh.
and there was like some girls on the trip. They're like, I can't eat this. I'm like, bro, it's
baby cow.
it's already paid for and it's dead. Like.
Yeah, it's dead now.
I
It
ate
ain't gonna
there.
come
It's
back.
like because you could literally like put your fork on it and it would like fall through.
I mean,
Wow.
age is just a number.
Yeah.
I mean, bring
It
it.
feels nasty.
What?
It wasn't good.
What did you say?
Bring that calf.
What?
Like, I'm sure it had very tender meat.
Did
Very
you say
like,
age is
tender.
just a number?
Wait. Oh yeah, I did. Is that, wait, oh no, not like that. Not like that. Oh my lord.
FBI, open up! Oh,
Be careful, those rats might come.
Not the rats.
All right, so
Feel.
after high school, you graduated, you moved on to Barton because, as you've stated in the podcast before, you waited to submit applications.
Yes.
Nice.
I waited too long, and I just didn't know where I wanted to go because moving away from college is a big decision.
Yeah.
But Barton, I had family. I could live with them, so it worked out.
Nice.
And I had really good grades. I think my high school GPA was like a 4.78
Wow.
or something like that.
Dang.
So
Must
like
be nice.
I would have graduated valedictorian, but like a junior graduated at the same time as me. So they got it. So I was second in my class, but
That's awesome.
yeah. And I graduated a 5-year program in 4 years, which I'm not trying to like, I'm just for logistics. I'm telling you that. So
Ain't saying he's better than us.
Yeah.
Barton pretty much gave me
3.8, baby.
Barton gave me almost a full ride. I was gonna pay like $2,000 or $3,000 a year, which
Wow.
isn't much,
Yeah, that's not
but I made stupid decisions because my loans were bigger than the amount, so I got a refund check, and I didn't pay that back on the loan. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not crazy in debt over it or anything. It wasn't like, oh, I owe $100,000 in student loans now. No, it's not like that. But I could have owed a lot less.
right.
But I went to college for nursing. I did 2 full years of nursing school. 2 grueling years of
Here
nursing
we go.
school.
Here we go.
And then
Nursing school sucks. There's no better way to say it. Like, oh my gosh, the people in my class would like do stupid stuff like cheat on tests and stuff. So we would lose privileges. So I wasn't allowed to see what answers I answered on my test afterwards because they were afraid we were going to cheat in the future. Like,
wow,
so we couldn't have our test back.
that's
Oh.
crazy.
That's fun.
Here's an 88, no context.
Yeah, like they would go over the test like on a screen, but they wouldn't give you your test back. So you had to try to remember what you answered,
Yeah,
and they would give you the
Wow.
right answer. But I was like, you don't remember everything you.
right. Yeah.
So, like that's partially why I dropped out of nursing school because I wasn't gonna be put at a disadvantage because of
Yeah.
other people's decisions.
for sure.
Like in nursing school is already hard enough. So, and I had I really learned nursing wasn't for me. I don't have a passion for it. I love helping people. That's why I wanted to do it. And it's a secure, stable job. But after getting some clinical experience, I was miserable. And I was like, I'm going to switch over to science, which, I mean, I already had taken a lot of science courses. And the reason I didn't stay with science was because of physics. I don't think physics, all in all, I could have grasped it. I mean, I know I'm not stupid. It's
Yeah,
just,
we know you're not stupid, Mr. Second Valedictorian.
Yep.
it's salutatory.
Yeah, whatever. I
400
wasn't gonna
points
try.
in
Anyway, anyway. Oh man, I forgot to talk about my competitive rivalry with one of my friends in middle school, but we won't go into
We'll
that.
get there.
Anyway, so where were we at? We were at Barton physics.
Barton.
I had a teacher. He just had like an African accent,
Yeah.
so he talked fast, and I didn't want to ask questions because
Ah.
I just like I was over college at this point. I already had my associates. I was like 3 years in. I was like, I can just combine my credits, get out of here with a liberal studies degree in nursing and biology, and I can graduate. So that's what I did. Because at that point, I was like, I'm going to go into student affairs. Because I did a student affairs internship at Barton. And I was going to go into higher education just to like do work on a college campus and stuff, which is still something that I still kind of find interesting. And maybe one day I'll decide to do something like that. But I was just burnt out of college.
Right.
And I was ready to get married. So I guess I'll say I met my wife in college. If you listen to
I was about to say.
if you listen to the episode with Katie about 2 episodes ago,
Episode 19.
Yep. So we met just through mutual friends in college. I'll just leave it at that, keep it simple. and we got married in 2020, which is a year that might ring a bell for a lot of people.
Yes.
Best year ever.
So our first year of being married, we got married in February. COVID outbreak, March.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, we were never locked down to the house because we both worked at Chick-fil-A at the time, so like we were essential workers.
Shout out to being essential.
Yeah. So I never had to like deal with a lot of financial struggle, which I feel blessed for. Never, which not that it's never easy, but so yeah, we were really close for our first year. And if anyone doesn't know about being married, like in terms of like the first year or two, they're rough. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much you love that other person. Adapting in the same household with them is going to have a lot of challenges. And until you learn to live with each other, there's a lot of like, it's not like I want to get rid of them. It's just like, it's not like that. Yo. It's never that serious. It's like, you just get frustrated.
Put the stuff back where I put it in the fridge.
Yeah, little stuff like that, like brushing your teeth.
Toothpaste like in the middle? What? No, you push from the bottom up.
Like Nate ripping the door handle off the refrigerator.
Yep.
Yeah. All I did was pull it, and the handle came off, and then the renters were like $80. It's still not fixed.
What a Chad
moment.
Ripped it off, man.
So you mentioned you worked at Chick-fil-A.
Yes.
Do you want to touch on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I started out there because you want to know the real reason?
Yeah.
Katie said I couldn't make it.
Wow, she took it as a challenge.
Yeah, I took it as a challenge. So there's actually a photo of me on my wife's Facebook profile. I don't look happy in that picture. It's outside of Target. I'm wearing a dress shirt and a bow tie. That's the day she told me I couldn't make it at Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
I think it might be her profile picture.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so I remember that distinctly. She was like, "Why aren't you smiling for this photo?" And I was like, just mad.
For those that don't know, that's where Nate and I met.
Yeah, that's where we met. And
we met at the orientation.
Yeah.
Dang.
And that's how Chris met Katie too.
Yep.
Because she was the training director.
Yep. She said I had very intense eye contact, whatever that means.
Yeah, I was. I told Chris, "Are you here for the orientation?" As he was walking towards the building.
We pulled up to the so the orientation was us and one other lady. Yeah. Other lady didn't pan out, but we pull up to the orientation. I am actively walking towards the building, and Nate goes, "Are you here for orientation?"
Nah.
No.
I didn't know. I didn't know how those buildings work. They were like,
I didn't either.
Okay, but I started out as a heart of house team member. Ended up becoming a trainer.
For those that don't know, that's the kitchen.
Yeah, started out in the kitchen, mostly breading. Then I became a trainer, mostly breading. Then I became a manager, mostly breading. And then I got cross trained, so I worked front and back.
Nice.
Yeah, I was the only cross-trained manager.
Nice.
Like, the only one that they would let lead shifts in the front and the back on the regular. Now, I wasn't great at the front of house, but it was just because I didn't get trained up there. Yeah. Like, I mean, I did what I could with what I had. And you're managing, like, this isn't disrespect to anyone, but anytime you have a bunch of 15 to 17-year-olds, it's hard to, because I was working night shifts.
So someone who worked in the front of house, Nate, did not excel at front of house management, but... I'm just kidding.
I was kind of over it at that point.
No, yeah, I know.
But they offered me an opportunity to do administrative work because Jackie, who is actually I won't give her last name, but
I was about to say we're name dropping.
She overcame cancer.
Hey,
so, like,
man.
As far as I know, she was just waiting for her platelet levels to get back right last time I talked to her. But she was battling that, so I stepped in and she helped me so much in that role to be able to do it. And, for her to take the time to help me while she was battling cancer was
shout out to Jackie.
Shout out. But she helped me with that. But of course, over the phone mostly. Yeah. But so I did the administrative work for 2 stores. So I was like managing the bills. I was managing the hours, the uniforms, all that while working 40 hours plus on the floor. Yeah. So that was intense.
Nate knows what everyone made.
Yeah. But don't worry, I signed an NDA. Yeah, I signed an NDA. So that's all confidential information.
Until now, I'm just kidding. Brings up a list, or just going through it.
John Doe made $4 an hour.
Now with Chick-fil-A food stamps, honestly, he got.
That's not enough.
Dang.
Oh man, I know I almost started a controversy once because Katie found out what I made because we're married.
Yeah.
Or we were dating, and like it was almost a war between the front and the heart of house just because like. One group was getting paid, not a lot more, but slightly more than the other. Yeah. This wasn't after I knew the wages. This was back when I was just But
No, yeah, it was well known that the people in the kitchen made more, which is
yeah,
slightly ridiculous.
I mean,
as opposed to the people that have to work outside. I mean,
yeah,
And deal
but
with
until you
customers all
touch
day.
till you touch that bread and table.
listen, I did both. I know both. One was easier than the other, and I won't say which.
Which one cut you? Which one stabbed you?
We'll
With a
say
Bowie
that
knife?
for next week.
All right,
Yeah.
so
Which one?
Chick-fil-A.
broke your ACL?
I just got burnt out. I was working 40 to 50.
Yeah.
It wasn't 40 hours, so it's fine. That's normal. But I was working a lot more 45, 50-hour weeks. And that's not insane. But when you start, that 50's your regular, it's starting to feel like, and you don't see any hope in sight, you're like, and I'm not blaming anyone there. I should have spoke up for myself and, like, set boundaries, and I didn't. But I had a job offer that I applied for at a HVAC company that I currently work at now. And it was just more of a desk job, regular hours. I needed the stability and the regularity of that. But during Chick-fil-A, I had a very interesting time with my music career.
Yes. I want to come a little bit back real quick, and I just want to talk about your last day at Chick-fil-A, because you and I had decided we were leaving around the same time, but your last day was much more unexpected than mine was.
Uh-oh.
Katie texted me and was like, I tested positive for COVID. And I was like, I'm sure you won't mind me. I was like, Bryant, I need to go. And that was my last day at Chick-fil-A.
And then never saw Nate again.
Man.
People still today think he died from it.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
man, whatever happened to Nate? Did he make it? I don't know, man.
I don't know. He's working in HVAC.
Really thinking
He's a
about
podcast with two idiots.
thinking about the dynamics of it, I really feel bad for all the people who were like in their 30s plus getting managed by a 21-year-old.
Especially Nate. No, I'm just kidding.
Which I'm not the type of manager that's like bossy.
Yeah.
I just like work with you.
No, yeah, you definitely were not bossy.
I mean, I would just like work with you and just make sure things tried to go smooth and
Yep.
Yeah.
normal stuff anyway.
All right, so the rap career.
Rap career.
We need to talk about the best debut single of the entirety of 2018.
First Love.
First Love.
Oh man.
It's the greatest hit single, the greatest phenomenon, dare I say, since the Macarena.
Honestly, I thought it would be easier. No, that's it. Oh god.
We have to end this episode with the entirety of First Love. I hope you know that.
Yes, I am going to be doing that.
That's fine. It wasn't great.
It was the best. It was your best.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
He
was.
He just
I
made it so
really
big
enjoyed
and
that
proud.
song.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration behind it?
So I had a ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
that
Your first love, perhaps?
Yeah, my first love. Because, like, I only seriously dated one person before I got married to Katie. So I only had one major relationship, and it wasn't major. It was only 10 months, and it was split 5 and 5. So basically, just I just had, like, found out some stuff had happened, like, in the span of that relationship during a gap that, like, really hurt me.
Yeah.
And the song wasn't meant as a shot at her. It was really just inspiration. But it did lead to some awkward moments. So, like, she was like, at first she was like, because we were still kind of like, not friends, but like on talking
We're
terms.
friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, I really like the song, blah, 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 blah. And then later she was like, is this about me?
Oh.
Question mark. And I was like, so you inspiration? Like,
Yep.
but like, you know.
Thanks for ruining my life.
Thanks for ruining my rife rags.
What are you right? I don't know why I said rife, but life.
Oh, man.
I thought maybe I could just keep on going and we don't talk about it, but no. Rife.
But yeah, so that song, and then I continued to make music for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Yep.
Dang.
I have a discography of about 12 songs.
Yep.
Nice.
I have an EP.
Yep.
And it's all okay.
Get 'em.
I don't have the
Now
passion
on
to
Spotify.
continually make music.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like making music, it's because I don't have the energy to keep up with the content cycle.
Yeah.
It's too much when you're by yourself for anybody.
So what's your favorite song that you've made?
First Love's up there. Definitely. I would say top 3 right now. First Love. This isn't in order. First Love, Lime, and
Lime is really good too.
And Blurred Vision. I don't really like Blurred Vision from I think it's a well-made song. Well, I think production-wise, it's a greatly made song. But I didn't like my vocals on it. But like what I was able to accomplish in that song, I'm so proud of. Because I was able to harmonize and mix stuff well. That was a great time for me. Everything came together.
Cool.
But, I mean, there's still some other stuff. I just don't really like the stylistic choices I made. But yeah, Lime's a banger.
What's your favorite bar from Lime?
Well, it's probably the little intro part where it's like, what's the second verse? It's like, they want me at 10, but I go to 11. They trying to book me like balling with Devin. They love when I post like I'm balling with Kevin. I'll play through a Nick and I ice at like 7. That little verse.
The basketball.
Dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was probably
Must
like,
be the intro and the outro.
Have a whole podcast of you speaking that way.
I love my niggas Nate and I.
I fell in love with speed rapping at first.
Yeah.
And that's when I was in high school. I loved to speed
That's
rap.
all white kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eminem, man. Yeah, man. I'm a rap god. Yeah.
But like, I was like this redheaded kid in high school, obviously, and I would be like, "Yeah, I like to rap," you know, like because I wasn't making music then.
Yeah.
But then I would start like actually rapping, and they'd be like, because I mean, even if it was decent quality, they weren't expecting that out of me.
Not out of you.
Like, so that was fun. But yeah, I'm so happy I fell into music because I love audio engineering. Like, I don't love doing it to the level of professionalism, but like, it's partially what helped mold this podcast because the skills I picked up making that music, I'm able to use now when recording audio for this.
Yeah.
And I have helped several other people record stuff. And so that's been fun.
We wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Here at the Small World Media Studios.
Small World Media Studios, aka Nate's house.
Buddy.
Literally wouldn't be able to do it without you.
Yeah, seriously.
The real question, the most serious question, is what is next for DNA?
DNA may make a song, but I think if I ever started releasing music again, I might rebrand. But for those who like don't know what DNA stands for, it stands for Do Not Attempt.
And what does that mean?
You know, you just can't do it like me.
Oh,
wow.
That's the name of it. That's the name of the episode. You just can't do it like me.
That's it. That's
the
it.
one.
That's it.
Oh
We
man,
got it.
Kanye's
I got-
like, bring it.
So I have a question though. So if you start releasing music again, will it be released under the Small World Media label?
it could be.
Ooh.
Just
I'd love to
throwing that
make
out
music
there.
again. If I had the opportunity to make music and not have to produce all my own content, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So the question is, what's stopping you?
Making content.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I love rapping though. If I had a better voice, I'd really like to do more.
Oh, phooey.
What?
Like in terms of like singing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So what's next for Nate the person?
Nate the person is trying to focus on a very important thing that we haven't talked about this whole podcast, which is ministry.
Yes.
I have taken steps to get my master's in theology and my ordination. So I am, currently in the market for a youth pastor or associate pastor, wherever God leads me. My heart feels led to youth ministry right now, but it's just like it's hard when you're in a market for a pastoral job because it's not like being in the market for a normal job.
yeah.
Like you feel conviction with applying places. Now I'll apply multiple places because I at least want to hear what the church has to say.
Right.
And but it's not my decision whether I get to that church or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's.
Yeah.
So it's nothing I can say, nothing I can do. And if it is something I say and something I can do, am I which I don't want to get into theology, but am I making a mistake? Am I stepping outside of his will, his perfect will for my life?
Yeah.
So, that's something to keep in mind. And it's been interesting because I was a youth pastor for 4.5 years. They hired me on at the church at 17 years old, and I was young enough to be in the youth group as the youth pastor.
Dang.
Wow. What an experience, right?
Yeah. Shows the size of the church.
Yeah. That's about 100 people.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah, so they hired me, and because they knew my grandparents, they were on the board, or grandpa, so like they trusted them, they trusted me, and I had done volunteer work at my dad's church, which was really just me ministering to my friend. But like I actually had someone prophesy over me when I was like 12 that I was going to be a pastor, and back then I was like, like I don't think that's going to happen. I was like, I don't know that I could ever be a pastor, and then it just like happened, and I was like, well, there you go, God. Because you don't just move somewhere and have a youth pastor job open without God having his hand in that, you know. But yeah, I had a great time there. Ultimately, differences. I just had to leave. It wasn't anything they did wrong. Anything. It was just time to go.
yeah.
And I heard my dog bark. Sorry. But yeah, no, I'm just excited to see where God takes me in my ministry, because that's the only thing that brings me true excitement is when I get to engage in someone in a biblical conversation about God and, you know, help them, and then even help myself grow through that conversation. That's top tier experience right there.
Zoe's barking.
Yeah. All right.
Do you have any words of wisdom before we wrap things up?
Life's too short. This is basic, but do what makes you happy. Like, not ultimately, like there's a line to that. Have your moral, have your code, but don't do something because someone wants you to do it. Because I was in nursing school because I felt pressure from my family, and that wasted some years of my life. Not wasted, valuable experience, but like I could have been taking strides elsewhere. There was, you know, times where I didn't do music because of outside influences. There were times where I almost didn't podcast because of outside influences, and you just have to do things the way that you see fit, you know, and God sees fit. Once those two line up, you're in a sweet spot.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Oh, my microphone is rotating.
Right around.
And we will see you next week for the third episode of the 3-week series with Mr. James Flowers as the guest host. Thank you again for joining us, James.
No problem. Thank you all for having me.
And we will see y'all next week. And now,
First love.
first love.
Honestly, I thought it would be easier when she's long gone and I don't have to be with her. Crashes in my mind like a meteor. When she was gone, why was I still seeing her? I can break it down, wish it wasn't complex, but there's moving pieces when you're treated like a project. Showing some respect, why is that a foreign concept? Always got next when we hadn't even stopped yet. I'ma tell you now, can't wrap my head around it. When we were apart, you still made me feel surrounded. Threw away my heart in hopes I never found it. Broke up all my trust so my new girl could ask about it. People told me rumors that I never would believe. Tell you in the end, I did not end up relieved. What I heard was true, should I have been prepared to leave? I stayed where I was, guess I didn't like to breathe.
That time in our lives, couldn't get it alright, yeah. So many fights, that would haunt me at night. Never was told I would deal with all this. When I was young, ignorance was so bliss. Some people are just not meant to be missed. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss.
You never did care when you did what you did. I was left behind to carry burdens of your sin. I swallowed the loss that you carried off your win. I took all the cost that you got under my skin. You tried to mess with my mentor. You shot for a home and what you wanted was a rental. Didn't want to be sentimental. Being straightforward is way too simple, but love isn't easy. It's real and takes time. Definition doesn't mean guy after guy after guy after guy after guy after guy, oh my, but you found a way to leave me dead inside. Never did I want to talk bad. That's not who I am, but this is just sad. You made me see that I really couldn't act, cause you and me means I had the numbers off a tad. Luckily I'm happy now, safe and sound in the arms of one who cares if I'm around. Got you out the background. I nearly drowned, but I'm glad I didn't back down. It was all a journey, but I wish you all the best. March Madness like attorney had left me in a wreck. Guess I'll always have a piece of it left. Hope you found peace with who was on deck,
That time in our lives, couldn't get it alright, yeah. So many fights, that would haunt me at night. Never was told I would deal with all this. When I was young, ignorance was so bliss. Some people are just not meant to be missed. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss. That time in our lives, couldn't get it alright. to be missed. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss. First love of my life, regret from the first kiss. From the first kiss.